Good morning and welcome to Unity Church on the Mountain. It's a beautiful day in my consciousness, and I hope it is for you too. And if it's not, know that that is within your power to choose how everything is for you. We've got a special music show for you today, this morning, a special musical service. We are Revelation of Truth. I am Dean Isley. On keyboard is Bob Davis. Ron Legowick. Correct? Eric Johnson on drums, and my brother Jason Isley on guitar. And I have forgotten my guitar. So it's just one of those challenging things. Whenever something unexpected happens, you always have opportunity to observe yourself, to see how it is that you're going to respond. So that was my lesson for this morning, and let's hope it's going to be that there will be no harder lessons for me this morning. So just gentle, fun, and easy lessons for us all. So we'd like to start our service with Divine Energy by Dave Ezel. Please stand and join us as we sing this. Divine energy flows through me, healing my spirit, body and soul. Divine energy flows through me, cleansing my thoughts and making me whole. Calm and quiet, strong and clear, God's voice within me knows no fear. Divine energy flows through me, healing my spirit, body and soul. Divine energy flows through me, healing my spirit, body and soul. Divine energy flows through me, cleansing my thoughts and making me whole. Calm and quiet, strong and clear, God's voice within me knows no fear. Divine energy flows through me, healing my spirit, body and soul. Healing my spirit, making me whole. Take some time and greet your neighbor. Say hello and good morning.
I wouldn't try to introduce all of these fine musicians up here, but Dean has already done a job for me.
I'll make it easy for you.
I was going to ask you to do it anyway. And we are very happy to have you here today. And if that's the sample of what you're going to do, I think we're all going to be very pleased. And we do have to have a few people to listen. I'm glad to see the rest of us here. And I'm glad to see us all here on a day that's kind of on the outside, not the beautiful day that's within, but we can keep that beautiful day within. Let us now continue our worship with the opening statement. There is one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, God. I did a little work with a couple of the guys to get a table down here. so that you could see the candle. We hide it all the time within us. That spark of God or Christ or whatever we want to. It's spark of life even. So that's a symbol of that. Of course the candle is going to go out, but it does not go out inside us. The candle is just a symbol to hold it before our eyes. And so it was lit before we started, be lit afterwards. Guess I'll have to blow it out so we don't have a catastrophe. But it still stays lit with each of us. Let us now go to the mission statement.
Centered in God, we inspire spiritual transformation, creating a world of love, peace, and prosperity. We are an inclusive spiritual community, inspiring, awakening, and serving in love.
We talked about the light that represents the Spirit, whatever phraseology you want to put around that. But also within is the child. Some of us are a little younger and some of us are a little older. But the older ones have that spirit of the child in, and we sometimes need the younger ones to remind us. And I know my wife and I, we don't have a young one around until we go visit her nephew. And they have two, well, they have a baby still, so it really brings it home to us. So we're going to honor all the children of the world, not only the ones that are within, not only any representation we have here, but the whole world. The children's blessing. We love you, we bless you, we behold Christ in you, we accept you just the way you are, walk in beauty, you are our. And I turn that over to the dean.
All right, so let's stand again and we'll sing together. The song is called Lesson 188 from A Course in Miracles, and it is by James Francis Twyman. Of God shining in me now, the peace of God shining in me now, the peace of God shining in me now, the peace of God shining in me now. The peace of God. all to greet my beautiful wife, Lucretia, who brought my guitar and sang today. She's ready to go fishing for a fishing tournament, so she's probably not going to stay very long.
Excellent. Thank you.
Well, I'll also welcome Lucretia. Glad you managed it. Well, I guess we would have done well without it, but we're here to be able to find out how he does with it. So, at this point, I'd like to have Jackie bring forth the prayer box and say a brief sentence over it.
Brief?
Brief. And then that's all today.
This is our prayer box. And you know, you can write your prayers and put them in there in the boxes at the back of the church all the time, except during service here. But one of the things is, it's not only the prayers that are written here, written down. More importantly, it's the prayers that are written on your heart. And we send the prayer box, or the prayers, to Unity, where they're prayed over for 30 days. So, say with me, divine love. Blesses these prayers.
Blesses these prayers.
We affirm wholeness.
We affirm wholeness. Amen.
Thank you, Jackie. And now it is time for the daily word. Shirley.
Well, you have to be the child in us.
There you go.
Subject today is forgive. As I forgive, I know the fullness of divine love. God's love flows freely to all who will receive it. Only as I forgive, however, can I fully experience God's love. Unity co-founder Myrtle Fillmore wrote, "Forgiveness is the art of putting something else in the place of the thing forgiven. That something else is the positive realization of the truth of being. When I discover a thought arising about myself, or a person or an incident that I have resented, I need not condone what was done or left undone. I need only the release and the focus on the eternal truth that every person is the image and likeness of God, regardless of what they may have done or failed to do. Even if my new feelings are slow to respond, my act of forgiveness is complete. And forgive us our debts as we also have forgiven our debtors." Matthew 6:12.
Thank you, Shirley.
You're welcome.
Now let's pause deeper for a moment. In a moment we'll be saying the Lord's Prayer. So get ourselves seated well, or standing tall for a couple of us that are standing. But go deep into the center of our being, to our spirit center. Now let us say the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
So let us pause for a moment from our thoughts and take a deep breath together. And as we breathe in, let us feel that love, that divine love, big love that connects us together. Hold the breath for a small amount of time and release it. And as you release, think of gratitude. So together, breathing in and out. And one more time, a deep breath in and releasing. And as we move back to our normal breathing pattern, let us just continue to relax our bodies. And as your body begins to relax, allow yourself to move a little deeper and closer to the stillness, that silent place within us, where we can be close to God. God who is always with us. No matter what we call God, Spirit, truth, love, the good. There is no place that we can go where we are without Spirit. We inherit our divinity directly from the source of all divinity. And all we have to do is turn toward it. When we have thoughts that trouble us, we can just allow them to move on. In the same way that they came, they can go and pass. And our emotions, seeing them for what they are, but allowing them, their life, as they move along. And we watch that as the observer. And we continue to move a little closer, a little deeper into the silence as we quiet our mind and become still. When Elijah was on the mountain, he didn't find God in the quaking of the earth, or the fire, or the winds. He found God in the still small voice, that still small voice within us. And as we move from that silence, becoming more aware of our surroundings, let us just be grateful for the wonderful things we have in our lives, the blessings. Look for the good. Think about how that makes you feel. And just know that gratitude. Feel that feeling for nothing in particular, only the gratitude. And for this we say thank you, and so it is. Amen. So this morning, I would like to speak with you about our body temple. It's something that we all have, or we wouldn't be sitting here, right? When we're born, we have this body. And as we grow and begin to experience the world, the body becomes very important. I mean, we do things like put our thumb in our mouth. When we're babies, we explore the world with our mouth. And that's why whenever a young one finds something new, the first thing they do is they just put it in their mouth. So their thumb goes in their mouth. They're exploring, discovering their body. Last Sunday I spoke to you about the I am. The I am. And remember Moses when he went up on the mountain, he was called to go back to Egypt to deliver the Israelites out of bondage. And he said, whom shall I call you? You call me I am. I am the I am. I am that I am. And we light the Christ candle to remind us that we all are I am. That Christ is within us all. The I am is the true nature of who we are. It is that part of us that does not change, and it is our connection to God, to Spirit. It is our perfect potential. Who we are when we are the best of all we can be is the I am. And when we say, I am happy, we tie ourselves to that happiness. And at the same time, though, we can say other things that might not be as good. And in that way, we tie ourselves to them. I used a quote from Emerson about hitching our wagon to a star. See, if I say, I am a child of God, I am hitching my wagon to a star. I am hitching my wagon to the best that there is within me. We all were created in the image of God. We learned that in Genesis. And so we can hitch our wagon to that. And that is hitching a wagon to the star. Or we can hitch our wagon to something else. And I really don't even want to give you an example, because that's not what I want to hitch my wagon to. But we need to be aware of what it is we are hitching our wagon to. And so last time I talked about alarm clocks. Not the alarm clock that's sitting by your bed, but it serves the same function. The alarm clock that's by our bed is there to wake us up. And so we set alarm clocks in our life to remind us to be aware, to remind us to wake up. Be aware. Where are my thoughts? Where is my body? What am I doing right now in that moment? And I talked about several different examples of things that could be alarm clocks. Just about anything you can imagine, you can set as an alarm clock for yourself. One of the first ones that I ever used, and it keeps coming back to my mind, is a dog barking. Because I was in a neighborhood where there were lots of dogs around, and so dog barking was often an occurrence. And it was a random occurrence. So I never knew when it was going to happen that I would hear a dog bark, and I could check in and say, well, what am I thinking about right now? Where are my emotions? What am I hitching my wagon to right now? So, alarm clocks can be anything, and the important thing about alarm clocks is that we change them because we get used to them. And if we get used to our alarm clock, it doesn't wake us up anymore. Okay, good. So, one of the alarm clocks that I didn't mention last week is what the entire talk is about today, and that is our body. Our body is a wonderful alarm clock because it's always there with us. And for the large part, it does things that we don't have much control over normally, especially not when we're asleep. But I have this particular place. It's in my right shoulder blade, just kind of back here that I can't reach, back there. And if I start getting into an anger state, I can always tell that I'm angry. Even before I get angry, before I know I'm angry, by the tension that I feel in that shoulder. So my body is reacting to my emotion before my mind becomes aware that I'm having that emotion. Emotions happen very fast. And the mind, I don't know, If you know this, but the mind is a lot slower than the emotions. But the body is very fast at picking up on things like that. That's why we can drive a car so successfully with our bodies. Once we learn how to drive a car, we pretty much just drive a car. Our body knows what to do. It's kind of connected in with the gas and the brake. I mean, if we want to go faster, we don't have to think, oh, I'm going to have to press the pedal 3 degrees to speed up 5 miles an hour. That's not how it works. You just know you want to go a little faster and your foot moves, and now you're going faster. So your body does that thinking. Look at all those calculations your body did that you didn't even know happened. So that's the body consciousness, and there is consciousness in our bodies. We can use our pain. You know, if you get an upset feeling in your stomach, you feel a little, chances are there's some sort of anxiety, maybe a little fear going on, and you can check in and see, well, what is it that I'm afraid of right now? What is it that I'm nervous about? It's going to be different for each of us. We all experience our bodies in different ways. These are just general tendencies and things that I've experienced myself. But as we become more aware of our body, we can figure out by our observation what the tendencies are. In other words, okay, I realize I'm angry. So I can look in, okay, I know I'm angry right now. What does my body feel like? And I can check in and say, all right, now I can remember next time if I start feeling like this, maybe I can keep myself from boiling over to the point that I do something that I would regret. So, our bodies can be very useful alarm clocks. What else are our bodies, though? I think most importantly, the body is where we worship God. What do we mean by that? We say the body's a temple. Temple is the place where we worship. It's the place where we show our love for the source of all being. Worshiping is loving, and God is the source of all being. The body's the home of the Christ within us, the I am. The body is the place where we demonstrate our connection to the mind that is the source of the perfect idea of our potential being. I'm smiling. That's my own little turn of phrase. So that perfect potential, that's the Christ within us. The perfect idea of who we are. It's kind of like the DNA that got injected into our being at the very Big Bang. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God. God said, let there be light. That's the vibration that started everything that has always happened, has always been, is now, and continues on and on. And now here's the really one. Eternity. I'll just leave that mystery. Eternity. Because eternity says there was no beginning, there was no end. That it is all now. And isn't that the mystery? Alright, so what is our body made of? Alright? So if we took an anatomy class, we'd find out that our body is made up of different tissues. And we can name some of them off. Obviously, we've got skin. We see that on the outside. We don't even need an x-ray to find that. And then we have the muscles that move us, bones, the nerves, that allows us to feel. We have different organs inside of our body. But let's take that a step deeper. What are tissues made of? Okay, in biology class I took in 7th grade, they said cells. Our tissues are made up of cells. Little bitty living things. They have life on their own, but our body is like a colony of all these little cells. They all work together in these systems to allow us to move around, breathe, everything that we do. It's really, really a miracle when you think about it. All right, well, what are cells made of? Okay, let's go a little next step deeper. Cells are made up of molecules. Molecules, different... You know, I don't even know all my molecules that are in the body, but there's a bunch of different ones, even in each cell. Because there's, like, DNA is a molecule, and then there's the RNA, which is like the messenger, and the DNA is like the pattern, if you really want to think about it, okay? I'm not sure exactly how much they equate, but DNA is a lot like the Christ, because it's the pattern that makes our whole body. If you've got your DNA, you can make a body. You can make another Dean if you've got Dean DNA. You just like need another Dean, right? Okay. So molecules then, okay, let's take it another step and go a little bit deeper, a little bit further behind. So each of those molecules is made up of an atom. And I know there's lots of hydrogen, lots of carbon, and lots of oxygen in our bodies, but probably every type of atom that you can imagine is somewhere inside of our body. All right, now you know where I'm going with this probably already. What are atoms are made of? Okay, so we've been able to pick atoms apart. When I was in, I don't know, science class in probably junior high or elementary school, we talked about the Bohr's model, and you had a nucleus with protons and neutrons and electrons that all make up an atom. And that's, whew, that's gone now. There's so many more elementary particles that are out there, I can't even think about naming all of them. And then they each have their antiparticle too. So there's these things that are inside of atoms. What are they made of? Einstein tells us that all matter is really just energy. And the amount of energy is in the matter, that is in the matter, you just take the mass of the matter, multiply it by the speed of light squared, which is a huge number before you square it, and that's how much energy is in each of those atoms. That's a lot. But that's all we are. There's not a thing that's in our body that makes up our body that's not energy. Now the energy is in a very organized state. I like to call it intelligence or information. That's the word we use in math, information. There's this information and this energy. And those two things make up each of us. The information, that perfect potential of who we are. The energy, that's the substance. Substance. So I wanted to know more about this substance, because that's sort of a meta thing. You know, I haven't heard science exactly talking about it yet, because they really don't know what it is. I know before quantum mechanics they were talking about, well, is matter, because they didn't really realize energy yet. Einstein hadn't come along yet. Is matter an energy? I mean, is it a wave or is it a particle? So they said, well, if it's a wave, they were convinced it was a wave. So they said, well, it has to have something to propagate in. You know, like waves have the ocean to move across. So sound waves have the air to move in. Well, if matter is really a wave, then what does it move through? And they gave it the name ether. And so you've probably heard of ether, maybe, you know, but it's an archaic word. But you can kind of think of substance as the ether. Charles Fillmore was writing around the times when all these ideas were starting to come together. And he says of substance that substance is the divine idea. It's the divine idea, that's important, of the underlying reality of all things. Substance is everywhere present. It pervades all things, including us. I mean, that's what we are. We're the substance that's organized in this perfect potential. It underlies all manifestation and is the spiritual essence. The living energy out of which everything is made. The living energy. And you know, I really thought I wanted to be a naturalist when I was little. Because I love nature, animals, and plants, and all that stuff. And I took biology, and they said they didn't even know what life was. This was the study, the science of life, and they didn't even know what life was. So I went into math. At least math, you always get an answer and you know it's the right answer or not in math. And even in engineering, everything's just close enough. So, it's my nature, I know, okay, so maybe I'm a little bit of a perfectionist. Alright, so you've got this energy and you've got this information. And this information and energy is all coming out of divine mind. And our mind, okay, see, now this is the thing. We've got that divine in us too. And we have these ideas. We call them thoughts in our consciousness. So look at this. This is a way of thinking about the law of mind action. If you want to look in your bulletin, there's 5 principles of unity. And this is going to be the 3rd one. Now I'm not quoting from that. I'm giving you another way of looking at it. You are forming in your body substance everything that you have in your mind, whatever it may be. So, what am I hitching my wagon to, right? What am I thinking about? And that's why the alarm clocks are so important. Because if I'm not thinking about something that I want for me, that I want for this body, that I want for this world, then what am I going to do? I'm going to change my mind. I want to quote, you change your you change the world by the renewal of your mind, or change something like that. That's very close. But that's what we're talking about, the law of mind action. And you've got another restatement. It's one of the 5 principles of unity that our thoughts create. And that's why it's important for us to have these alarm clocks. So, hitch your wagon to a star. And do it now. Right now. Every now. Not just this now, but the now that comes next and the now after that. Because that's all we ever have. The past is gone. We can't do anything about that. The future never gets here. We never have tomorrow. It's always now. Always, always now. So now is when we hitch our wagon. What am I thinking about right now? And if I change what I'm thinking about, I change my entire situation. Alright, so I have this affirmation that I got from a very good talk that I read on this same thing. Therefore, bless your body temple and declare its purity and strength and beauty. So that's something that I can say to hitch my wagon to a star. If I'm having these thoughts, I can say, no, that's not the truth of me. Unity calls that a denial. I think that's number 4 on your... That's right, but it's so basic. That is not the truth of who I am. I bless my body temple. I declare its purity, its strength, and its beauty. We are all in the image of God. How can it not be true? I pour out upon my body temple the oil of love, and I clothe it in garments of praise. Now, so how does that work in real life? So in the morning I get in the shower, I get a chance, as I wash my whole body, I can get in touch with my body. I can touch every place to make sure it gets clean. And that's what a perfect time to bless our body. I'm cleaning it, I'm washing away anything that is not part of my perfect wholeness, and I release it right now. And I bless this body. I am grateful for it because it has served me to get to where I am now. Hitch your wagon to a star. Just like I'm going to hitch up my guitar. I'm so glad that I have my guitar. And y'all got to see Lucretia. So you know that she's not just someone I talk about. She doesn't exist. I can't remember what TV show it was where they had this guy and they never believed that he had this girlfriend. Yeah, I can't remember what show it was, but I thought it was very funny. Amen. All right, so you'll have to give me a minute. So how can we, what does that make you think about hitching your wagon to a star? You know? And think about it. Are there times when you're not hitching your wagon to a star? You know, maybe, because I know when I look in the mirror, it's not, I don't always necessarily see the perfect image of God there in the mirror. And sometimes when I do that, I don't hitch my wagon to a star either. So I have a little rubber frog that I keep in the shower. And I look at that rubber frog, it's one of my alarm clocks. And frogs, see, fearlessly rely on God. Fearlessly rely on God. And I just really, for some reason, right now that alarm clock works for me. And I know that eventually I'll have to find something else. But right now it's fresh for me. It's more fresh than the dogs barking. And plus I don't have many dogs in my neighborhood right now. So that wouldn't work nearly as well. You know, first I forget and leave it at home, and then I forget where I put it when I get here.
And you have help.
Yeah, I did, yeah. Well, you're looking for your guitar. This next song we're going to do is by Karen Drucker. And it's just a wonderful little, almost a chant, very simple. But it really goes along with what we're talking about, because we get to choose what we see and how we see it. And that's how we hitch our wagon. We hitch our wagon to the way we see the world, to the way we see ourselves, to the way we see our situation. And this song here, if you'll stand with me, we'll sing it together. It's called I See the Beauty in You. I see the beauty in you. I see the beauty in you. I see the power in you. I see the greatness in you. And so it is. I see the child in you. I see the sweetness in you. I see the softness in you, and so it is. I can see it, it's right there before me. I can feel it deep in my soul, and I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic and power and your sweet love. In you, I see the wisdom in you, I see the strength in you, and so it is. I see the joy that's in you, I see your light shining through, I see the love that's in you, and so it is. I can see it, it's right there before me, I can feel it deep in my soul, and I just know it, that you are an angel full of magic. Power, your sweet love.
We were working on that.
See, I'm getting all kinds of opportunities to observe myself this morning.
Wireless is not wireless. It's not blowing blue.
Now when you flip them.
Look at the sun.
Is that the transmitter?
There we go. Oh, I hear it now. So, all kinds of opportunities to observe myself. You know, life is like that. We have those times when we're in that center, when we can feel that we're in the flow of Christ. Things feel relaxed. They seem to go really well. And then, without knowing it, we fall asleep and we drift away. And then something triggers within us and we realize where we're at. And that's why, for me, the way I see it, that's why there are so many things that we judge as bad. Because there are opportunities to realize where we're at and move back. Everything is an opportunity. Like forgetting my guitar, like singing that whole song, even though I've got my guitar now and I can't hear it. So this next song is one that is a Revelation of Truth original. I wrote this song years ago when I was in a time of where I was away from Spirit over and over again. It seemed like I was more away from Spirit than I was with Spirit. It was just a troubled time. And these are the words, just like this talk today, I think it came to me because I really needed to hear it. And this song came to me because I really needed to hear it. It was something that Spirit was telling me that I needed to do. It was my guidance. I wrote it down and now I'm sharing it. And I hope that it has meaning for you too. The title is meant to startle you and maybe be an alarm clock in itself. We call it Blood. Beside
I don't move. It's,
Spirit is with us, love is here right
I can
now.
tell everybody else is just soaking it up. I do need a couple of ushers, so thank you. Sometimes we self-appoint ushers. Let us do the prosperity blessing. The inexhaustible resource of Spirit
Is equal to every demand. There is no reality in lack. Abundance is here and now manifest.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Let us say the offertory prayer and blessing. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Lovingly I give, and lovingly I receive.
Oh, Romans, I believe it's 12:2. Be not conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
The renewal of your mind. Thank you. That should have been on one of the slides.
I don't know about you all, but the service has been fantastic, and you all have been a great addition to the service. Some people are able to feel the Spirit that's here, and you've helped bring it.
Yes.
You've helped bring it. We are blessed. I am so blessed.
I am so grateful.
Okay, and now to bring things to a close, we do ask if anybody has a request for prayer. You keep it short, since I'm pushing the hour a little. But nevertheless, every prayer is important. Anybody with a prayer that they'd like to raise, the whole group can hear, and whether you're going to say it or not, we recognize it. We know that the Divine Spirit already has.
Make me a channel of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me bring your love. Where there is injury, let there be pardon. And where there's doubt, true faith in you. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. Where there's sadness, let there be joy. A master grant that I may never see. So much to be consoled as to console. To be understood as to understand. To be loved as to love with all my soul. Make me a channel of your peace. Where there's despair in life, let me bring hope. Where there is darkness, only light. And where there's sadness,
protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love. The power of God protects us. I am the power.
The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all